We are back and training back. Who doesn't love a good back day? Blood box session number 7. Not much in the books today, just another session, getting it ticked off, increasing the weight, continuing the bulk, getting another brick on that wall. So today's topic of discussion is all in and all out mindsets and how you can learn to stick with something and see something through to the end. Not a lot of people can grasp the mindset of being truly all in on something and picking something and giving it their 110%. Not many people can fathom that type of energy. Being all in on something is really a mindset shift rather than a bunch of actions. The reason why I decided to discuss this topic today is because I relate to it very heavily. And the way that I think about an all-in and all-out mindset relative to me is that I'm either an all-in or all-out person. I'll either give you all of me or I'll give you nothing. And that carries over to the decisions that I make throughout my life, whether it be a new journey that I take on, a job that I do, or people that I meet. You know, I'll quickly decide whether I want to be all in on it or all out. And if you can go into your situations with that mindset of being all in or all out, A, it will save you a shitload of time, and B, it will make you think more seriously about those decisions, because once you realise that your mind is either in an all in or all out state, you will think more carefully about the decisions that you make, because you will realise that you can't have your mind in multiple places at one time. I feel like if you can put your mind in a state of all in and all out when it comes to decision making and following through on something, you will think more carefully about that decision, that split decision that you decide to make, whether you go all in or all out. Because by doing that, it automatically switches your mind to, okay, you've got to focus, you've decided to do this, or I'm not doing that, completely disregard it because it isn't even a thought in my mind. And by doing that, you will allow your brain to filter out all of the stuff that is cluttered in there. In your cluttered mind, you'll begin to filter out all the stuff that you have accumulated in your brain because you haven't been all in or all out on it. It's just sitting there in your mind, lingering. And a good analogy that I thought of while I was thinking about this all in or all out state is that everything to do with all in or all out is in the mind. It's to do with your mind. And your mind is like a house, right? It has multiple rooms in this home. And when you clean your house, when you do a deep spring clean, you clean every room in the house, you're not going to start cleaning one room and then halfway through that room start to clean another. Very similar with the mind. Once you start decluttering the mind, you compartmentalize it into different sections and you can visually see it in your brain and all the compartments and what the things are that you need to declutter. And once you've got those compartments, those rooms defined in your brain, and when it comes to organising those things, you're not just going to start focusing on one thing and then halfway through that jump to another. Like the same with cleaning a house. You're not going to start cleaning one room and then jump halfway through to start cleaning another. You're going to focus on one room at a time and get it spick and span before you move on to the next. And that is the exact way that the mind works. You have to focus on one thing at a time and master it, clean it, spick and span until you move on to the next. Because otherwise there will be unintentional stuff laying around in your mind, cluttering your brain, slowly building up over a period of time because you didn't clean it out properly. And that wraps back around to an all-in and an all-out mindset. You have to go all in or all out on something, otherwise there is genuinely no point in doing it. Because what is the point if you're just going to half-arse it and waste your time thinking that you're all in when you know deep down that you're not and you're just doing it to compensate? But yeah, I thought those things interlinked quite well together, so I thought I'd discuss them before start the session and share my thoughts on that, because anything that I talk about is something that I'm either going through or the process of my brain is dealing with. And I feel like speaking it on here is good to clear my mind of it and truly just speak it out, because with me and my brain, I either have to write it down or say it, otherwise I won't be able to process it. So by me saying it before the session as well, it helps me to think about it as well during my session, and my brain can process it, what I've said and what I've talked about, and that maybe there'll be some more things that the cogs will turn during the session, and I'll have something else to talk about after, or touch on it more after the session. But yeah, just thought I'd start off with that. Back today, session number 7. A few movements in the books, really just focusing on pushing the weight up, getting stronger, you know, keeping the bulk on track, getting another session in the books and another brick on that wall. So just going to stop talking, warm up, probably start out with just some barbell rows and cut to a top set. Get it started. Coming in! Let's go again. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, barbell rows, man. Barbell rows, man. There's nothing wrong with the basics. Let's do one more, and then we'll move on to something else. You know what? I'm just gonna make it a mandatory in every video to tell you to track your shit, because I know you're not, and I know you're natural as well. You're natural and you're not tracking. Man, you must not want to grow at all, because you should be doing everything in your power that you can control, especially if you're natural, because you need to take advantage of every minute detail to gain as much progress as you can. Everything that you can have control over, you should, because if you're natural, those minute details and those minute areas that you can progress in, they all add up and they all account for some form of progress. The reason why I track is because you can visually see it. That is with the weights. The reason why I track it is because I can visually see it, visually see how many reps I got on that weight. Same with your food, like you can do it on an app on your phone. If you can visually see it, then you know what you're doing and you know whether you're hitting your goal or not. Because if you're not, like I said time and time again, you're just fucking guessing. It is literally a guessing game if you're not tracking and you're not on top of. Everybody thinks that tracking is deemed to be this time consuming element that no one wants to do because it takes up too much time. The weights element is literally writing it down. The food element is plugging it into your phone. It literally takes an extra 30 seconds after everything that you do, which is nothing, and you want to spend all that fucking time on your phone going scrolling on fucking TikTok, and you say that you can't track your shit. Don't get me fucking started, because I will rant for fucking hours about people that complain about not growing and they don't even track. Fuck off. Anyway, track your shit. I'm gonna hit another set.
Oh yeah.
Woo! So it's done. So it's done.
Coming in. Oh yeah.
Woo! Let's hit another set.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'll probably drop the weight and hit one more. There's more of a less swinging set. To be fair, that was more body language than I would have liked for those two sets, but sometimes you just got to let your form slip a little to really go there in your mind. And that's obviously what I've done there. So I'm gonna drop it a little bit and hit another set, more controlled, squeezing, intense set. Let's do it. Woo! That's where it's at, man. Every session, again and again and again. Same intensity, same intent, same passion, same emotion, never fucking changes. Because when you love what you do, you never even have to think about doing it. It's just an automatic response. You know, the question doesn't even come to your mind, am I gonna do it? It's a non-negotiable. Let's go again. Let's do one more. And then last exercise. Let's see it, come on! Oh yeah! Woo! Last exercise. Yep. Woo! One more, and that's a wrap. Let's do it. Last one, come on. Woo! That's it, man. That's it. Session 7 is a wrap. Ticked off in the books. Another brick on the wall. Let me tidy all this shit up and then do a little recap. See if there's anything more I can touch on before I wrap it up. Let's do it. Woo! Oh. Oh. Man. Woo! Post-workout nutrition. Straight to the back. But yeah, session 7 is a wrap. Complete, ticked off. But yeah, before I wrap up, I just wanted to touch back on what I said. You know, like I said, when I go through my session and when I speak about something beforehand, it gives me time to think about what I've said and if there's anything else I want to say. You know, because me and my dyslexic brain need time to think. So I had a thought, and I just want to touch quickly back on the all-in mindset and about decluttering the mind. To allow your mind to go to that all-in mindset and truly devote yourself to that all-in decision, your mind has to be organised and everything in uniform to enable you to make that decision in the first place. And like I said about your mind being a house, and when you clean a house, you know, you clean each room at a time. And the same is with the mind. When you have these struggles and problems that arise, you know, some people have a lot more problems and struggles than others. And when it comes to solving those problems and quote unquote healing yourself, you have to focus on one thing at a time. You know, like I said, you're not going to start cleaning one room in your house and then halfway through go into another room. It doesn't work like that. No one ever does that. So you wouldn't do the same with your mind. You have to, when you start healing and clearing and decluttering the brain, you have to focus on one thing at a time. You have to focus on one problem at a time and declutter the shit that is in your mind to allow yourself to free up that space so that you can afford to make those all-in decisions. Because if your mind is so cluttered and filled with just shit that you don't need, that isn't actually your problem in the first place, that you could avoid, and if you can declutter it and get rid of those things, then you will open up space to be able to make those decisions and create new opportunities. Because by decluttering, you will enable new opportunities to arise without even realizing it. It comes as a result after that. You don't even realize how much shit is in your mind and in your life, that when you get rid of those things, it's like the law of attraction. New things start to arise, new thoughts, new actions, you know, and just a bunch of new stuff will come when you truly declutter. And, you know, like a house, you have a spring clean. You spring clean your mind. You compartmentalize each bit of your brain and your mind, and you observe the things that need putting in their place and where they go. And it takes a long period of time, you know. Myself, there's so many things. It's a daily thing, you know. You have to look at your mind and go, fuck, okay, I've got some shit that I need to sort out here. Let's start cleaning. You know, whatever it is that pops up, you have to declutter it instantly and observe it and put it back in its place and have it all uniform and organised. And it's the way of life. Shit just gets cluttered, man. Shit gets messy, cluttered, thrown around, dropped, broken. But it's up to you to clean it and keep it organised. You know, as soon as something pops up and something happens, observe it. How can I fix this? Where does it go? How can I utilise it? Those type of things that will help you organise your brain and put them where they need to go. And then with that being said, that will open up the opportunity for you to take those all-in decisions or all-out, dependent on the decision that you make. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. It was basically just re-summarising what I said, but in a deeper form and more targeted way, because that's how my brain works. You know, I think about something and I say it in a brief summary, and then I think about it a bit more, and then deeper thoughts start to come in. So that's why I like to start with it at the start of the session, so that I have time to think and I can touch on it again. That's my thoughts on that. take with that what you will, you know. I love coming on here and just speaking my mind, because like I said, if I don't speak it or write it down, it will just clutter my brain. And me speaking it is my way of decluttering, my way of putting it in its correct place where it goes. And that is out there for you to decide what you will. But yeah, good session nonetheless. Ticked off in the books, another brick on the wall. I keep using that phrase. You know, it's a good thing to say, because the wall's never ending. It's just a case of seeing how great you can make the wall, how many bricks you can get on there, because every brick is a representation of dedication and willingness. So yeah, that wraps up session 7, and see you in the next one.